The U.S. doesn't need to conquer countries anymore. The dollar does it. No troops, no invasions, just debt, dollars, and a financial system so deeply woven into the world that escaping it is almost impossible. This is the story of how America built the most powerful empire in human history, without ruling a single colony. For the last 8 decades, America has mastered a new kind of warfare, a quiet, polished, suit-and-tie warfare where instead of bullets, they use bonds. Instead of soldiers, they use sanctions. And instead of occupying land, they occupy balance sheets. And the weapon at the center of this modern empire is not the Pentagon, not the CIA, not the Navy. It's the U.S. dollar, a currency so dominant that the world can collapse without it, but the U.S. can print it in unlimited amounts. This empire didn't begin with violence. It began with a meeting in 1944 in a small hotel at Bretton Woods, where the U.S. convinced the war-torn world to anchor their currencies to the dollar. And because America held most of the world's gold at that time, the world agreed. Overnight, the U.S. dollar became the backbone of global trade. America didn't just win World War II, it won the financial future of the planet. But the real masterstroke came in 1973, after the dollar was no longer backed by gold. Most countries thought the dollar would collapse. But America had a secret move ready. They struck a historical deal with Saudi Arabia. "We will protect your kingdom. You will sell all your oil in dollars." Saudi Arabia agreed. OPEC followed. And the petrodollar system was born. From that moment on, any country that wanted oil, the lifeline of every modern economy, had to first obtain U.S. dollars. This gave America a superpower no empire in history ever had. They could print the currency the entire world needed. While other nations worked, produced, and traded to earn dollars, America simply created them and used those dollars to buy real assets from the world: oil, minerals, companies, land, entire industries, paid for with money they printed out of thin air. But this was only the first layer of the system. The second layer is more subtle: debt. When a country struggles, inflation, political crisis, economic collapse, the IMF steps in offering help. But IMF help is never free. Every loan comes with invisible handcuffs. Cut your social programs, privatize your state companies, sell strategic assets, open your markets to foreign investors, remove subsidies, increase taxes, reduce workers' protection, and guess who benefits from those reforms? U.S. corporations, U.S. investors, and the American financial elite. Countries take loans, fall deeper into debt, need more loans, become trapped in a cycle they can never escape. Their decisions are no longer their own. Their governments cannot govern. Their economies belong to the lenders, and the lenders answer to Washington. But what if a country refuses? What if they say no to the IMF? What if they try to trade outside the dollar? That's when the third weapon appears: sanctions. America can freeze a nation's bank accounts, block its companies, shut down its trade, disconnect it from the SWIFT system, and choke its economy without firing a single shot. No army required, no invasion required. Just one signature, and a country can collapse. Think about it. If the U.S. sanctions your banks, how do you import medicine? How do you buy food? How do you trade with the world? How do you survive? This is why even powerful countries fear crossing America. And the final layer, the most brilliant one, is global reserve currency power. When the U.S. prints dollars, inflation spreads everywhere else first. Countries from Africa to Asia, Latin America to the Middle East pay the price. But America? America absorbs very little of it, because everyone else needs dollars more desperately than the U.S. needs their goods. So America gets richer by printing money, while the world gets poorer buying that money. This is not an empire of tanks. This is an empire of balance sheets, an empire built not on land, but on leverage, not on soldiers, but on supply chains, not on invasions, but on interest rates. Nations once feared armies. Today they fear debt. They fear sanctions. They fear being locked out of the global financial system. And that system has one king, one center, one beating heart, the U.S. dollar. As long as the world runs on dollars, America controls the world. And that is why the U.S. doesn't need to conquer countries anymore. The dollar does it.